You know, man, it's the earlier you kind of realize that's the most important thing is saving the money that you make might be more important than even making a lot of money. It seems like, I mean, especially with my friends now towards my age, it seems like the guys that were just smart about it are the ones that are really comfortable and rich now. When instead of there's a lot of guys that made a shitload of money and they just spent it on hookers and shady women online and the rest of it. You know what I mean? See, it seems like it's a good habit to have to try to save some cash, man. It's kind of the hardest one to teach people. It seems though. It seems like everybody is basically paycheck to paycheck. It's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah. I got, I mean, I've been super aggressive about saving money for since I've started making money. I've like always saved money. But now, in addition to like, I'm watching the little stuff now, the death by 1,000 cuts. And I finally automated basically a $250 weekly deposit into a Vanguard index fund, just completely automated. It just buys it up. And I save money above and beyond that, but every month, just like $1,000 is going into an index fund without just like clockwork without me noticing it, which everybody should try to do. Like
At some
if
point,
you have any kind of full-time job, you can save $1,000.
Yes. Now, do you want to find like at some point spend the money a little irresponsibly though? And by that I mean
Get Nico a hooker.
yeah, or get yourself a hooker. Maybe when you're in your well, you're probably going to get married and have a family. But if you are single in your 50s and 60s, and now you're visiting Colombia and you got that big nest egg. I mean, is there a chance that you get 5 hookers in a nice Airbnb in Medellin, Colombia?
Yeah,
And you have yourself maybe 2 or 3 weeks of fun. You know?
yeah. I mean that. So a couple things here. First of all, we've basically determined, Leo and I, that the going rate for a hot chick in LA just to bang you is about $1,000.
Yeah, it seems like you can you talk to enough guys and you see enough proof, you see enough evidence that it's
And
about
I mean, women
$1,000.
have told us that too, that they have hot
And women.
friends that are, I mean, they're granted they're in OnlyFans circles, but if you got $1,000, like in LA with a hot girl, you can make it happen. So imagine what you can do in Vietnam or in Colombia. And it really makes me, because like sometimes I think, I mean, everybody does this. And especially as you get older, because when we were in our 20s, the financial part of your mate value is less relevant because most guys in their 20s aren't worth fucking shit. But now that I'm in my mid 30s, I start thinking about my finances in my mate value because the other guys I'm competing with are starting to get their shit together. And sometimes, you're like, it's LA. You can not feel like you're killing the game financially because you're driving down the street and on either side of you are walls of $5 million houses. But then I thought to myself, you know what would really reset this game board is if I moved to Bangkok, Thailand. then, oh boy, Danny Mullen's mate value would go from, I don't want to be falsely modest. I've got a fairly strong mate value in the scheme of things as far as an American 34-year-old man goes. But I'll say this. If I go to fucking Bangkok, Thailand, I am a 10.
Oh, you're a 10 out of 10, buddy. Now, yeah, I knew this guy who owned a bar, older guy in Hollywood for many years, and he recently sold it, and he's living with 4 women in Thailand. He's about 60 years old.
He's living with 4 women.
4 women in Thailand, and he puts pictures on his Facebook, and some of the wives have problems with it. It's really funny to read some of the Facebook, but it's pretty classic. Yeah, he's living with 4 women now. Seems to be very, very happy. And his children, he seems like the happiest man in the world right now. So he is, he probably feels like he made the right decision. Waiting all those years. He got a couple divorces too. I think one of them wiped him out, but the other one was whatever. But I think he got a nice chunk of change from from selling the bar, and now he is a happy man in Thailand. So there's a happy ending for all of us if we really want it.
It's interesting. Right now, there's kind of a resurgence because the left promotes all these just like hedonistic, crazy value structure is that there's been a return to the Jordan Peterson types who advocate for a strong man raising a family. Joining a woman is one flesh. And that's hip right now. You see all these like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro guys who are like, get married. You need to start a family. A real man starts you're not patty caking around at age 33, just putting your dick in anything that moves. Okay? You take a wife and you have a family and you have a community and you act like a man. You act like a man in the modern or whatever. Like, you get the fucking point. I'm not going to keep doing Ben Shapiro here. But then for all those guys, there's dudes who move to Thailand at age 60 and live with 4 women. And, you know, I'm not sure that one's necessarily right. I mean, you can be happy multiple ways, my friends.
So I always study the married man in my life, the married men in my life. And the guys on the softball team that are older than me, the younger, the ones that got married, the guys around me, even in the trans nest that might be married. And I was talking to one of the softball guys, and he was really hammered. And I was like, dude, you know, he was an old, really good friend of mine. We've taken down some of the same women, you know, back in the day. And I straight up was like, dude, be honest, man. Like, how's married life? And he was with me and the boys. He takes a swig of his Bud Light, and he looks up and he goes, fucking terrible.
No.
I swear to God, dude. That's what he said. He said,
did he really take
terrible.
a swig, or was that your
He took a swig,
flair?
dude. I swear to God, he took a swig. He's a showman. He was a showman. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. So I'm sure he did it for the bit, and I'm sure maybe he didn't even mean it like that. But, dude, I mean, the way he describes it is kind of crazy. He says, like, it doesn't, like, as soon as you have kids, he said, like, the women basically lose complete sexual interest in you forever. Like, that's what he said. And I've talked to other guys, and the only ones, some of them can keep it fresh are like honestly foreign guys I know, like some Israeli guy with an accent. He's like, I still fuck my wife 3 times a week, man, you know? And like hell yeah, dude. But like every American guy's like, dude, fucking my wife doesn't even look at me like that anymore. Like I cannot, like, if I have sex with her, it's like having sex with somebody that doesn't want to have sex with you. Not like rapey, but like she's like, hey, you done yet? Like, it's like,
yeah,
all they care. Yeah, it seems like they just lose interest, and all they care about is the kids, which is cool. And then, like, part of you, I'm sure, like, they seem to love their kids, that's for sure. Yeah. But it seems like their happiness level isn't great. It seems like. So me, I mean, maybe I'm talking to the wrong guys, but you know,
it seems like weight gain. Meaning that, like, a relationship, if it's like diet and exercise. If you're dieting and exercising and staying in shape, you're good. You're going to stay in shape. And if you're taking your wife out and writing her notes and you're not looking at other girls and you're not watching porn, that's your equivalent of diet and exercise. But once you start putting on weight and you start getting lazy and you start beating off to porn and you start flirting with your secretary and secretly texting her while saving her name in your phone as a guy's name, once that shit happens, it's like you're fat, metaphorically, and it's hard to lose that weight, meaning it's hard to go back to the romantic period of your relationship. And yeah, like once you start slipping and not caring, it's fucking over and it's hard to go back, I feel.
Yeah, you know, it's scary, but it also kind of, I mean, if you learn from other people's mistakes, I maybe waiting till the right time to get married is important. And maybe all these guys, a lot of them, I think, were just like, I've been with this girl for a long time and maybe like the passion isn't there. I'm just going to marry her because I feel like bad, you know, like I feel like maybe some guys just feel bad and marry a chick, but I guess it becomes more important to do something that's right for you. Also, let go of those girls earlier. You know what I mean? Like, don't let a bitch hang on when you don't really like want to be with her forever, which I think is a lot of guys that just don't want to be lonely or don't want to be, they just like the comfort, you know? I feel like that comfortable feeling that you have.
Constant puss, dude.
Yeah, the constant puss and the comfort, you know, it's bullshit. It's not real. You can get comfortable with somebody else really quickly. Like, you'd be surprised how quickly you get comfortable with women if you just are yourself and you don't care. You learn this when you're older, but man, hey man, I had a difficult situation. I had a girl who I was really in love with in college, and she was like, I want to move to Portland and get married and start a family. I want to live in Portland. And I was like, you know, I love you, Erica, but I don't know, you know, I was like, I'm going to think about it. And like that week I was like fucking freaking out. And my dad came in, gave me one of his fucking speeches about how a man can be 45 and marry a 25-year-old. And I just,
did he really say that?
Oh yeah, dude. He's like, you got time. He's like, what are you doing? You're fucking 24 years old. You're going to go marry a chick and leave your family? He's like, look, I don't care. He's like, you can leave. I'm still gonna love you. But he's like, but like, come on, man. He's like, you can get pussy till you're 45. And he's like, and he's like, if you do it right, I think you should marry a 25-year-old when you're 45. And I was like, thank you, pops. You know what I mean? That's good. In some ways, it's kind of.
And then he started talking about Billy Clinton in the Cuban.
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes, hey, and then you could be like Billy Clinton. Look at him, man, putting the cigar in the book.